So now that we have the basic building in play, what we're going to do is I'm going to save this, drop this down, save, and that's called building 1. Now I'm going to go drop this down. I'm actually going to close out of it because Revit doesn't like the model and the links of the two to be open at the same time. If I'm going to bring the building into my master site, Revit doesn't like it open. So I'm going to go up top again, start pretty much the same thing again. I want a new project, and then I'm going to say again, I'm not going to hit any of these. I'm going to go browsing, go straight back to commercial. It just has a lot of the pieces built into it, so it's a good starter kit. I hit OK on that, and I hit OK. So I started the project. I did move kind of fast there, but I'm not creating any templates. You're just going to create projects. Now this, I'm going to go back up top. I'm going to do a save as, just like before. Project. Now I'm just putting them in this folder right now, and I'm going to come over here. I'm going to call this master site. I hit save on that. So now I've created this one called master site. Now I'm going to go to actually see it's got a site plan in here already. Site plan. We'll go right to that view. That's why I like using this. It has a lot of the pieces that you need in it. Now as I zoom around, if I type ZE for zoom extents, you may see a little dot up top. Why isn't it rolling on here? That little dot is usually where the main insertion point is, but they can be moved in the future. So if you see this little graphic that's kind of floating in the corner, don't panic. Just put a wall out here. Okay. Now I'm going to roll my mouse. This is just telling you where the 0, 0 is. But in Revit, you can move the 0, 0 to the project or where you need to be. So don't even worry about that. Okay. Now, to put the site in, let's say your site is, I don't know, 2,000 feet by 2,000 feet. Up top here, on the site tools, masking and site, you'll see there's one here that says property line. Currently, you said, for instance, we haven't found the property yet, so we're going to use we're going to put in some defining lines so we have something to work with. So I'm at property line. At this point, it says, do you want to create it by entering distance and bearing? Like you physically type it in, or do you want to sketch it? I'm going to say sketch because it's easier. Now I'm just going to start to draw, and just like in AutoCAD, as I move, you see how far it's traveled. Now we're way out right now, so I'm going to get closer in on this element here. Zoom in a little bit. I'm going to say, let's say it's 1,000 feet, so I pick a point here. I'll go about 1,000. Well, that's pretty far. Okay. Zoom in on that a bit. Now, I'll try that again. I zoomed out too far. So I'm going to say, okay, let's go about a couple thousand feet. Come on down from here to here, a couple thousand feet. And then from here to here, a couple thousand feet. And then from here to here, a couple thousand feet. Okay, I'll get rid of that purple line. And to be a property line, it has to be closed. That's how they like to be closed. So you hit finish, that little check mark right there. We ping it a couple of times, and Revit says, okay, I've now created a property line. If I zoom in, see there's a property line going around the property. If you need to make it smaller, you can just hit Edit Sketch and grab those purple lines and hover over them and actually drag. So you're getting smaller and larger here. So I can drag these in. So let's say you decide you're going to go 2,000 by 2,000 to start with. So you can get about where you want to be. So okay, there's about where the site's going to be. And then I hit finish again. So now that's about 2,000 by 2,000, and we have our property line. So now we have our site, and we're happy with that. If you wanted to
change it to acres.
Change it to acres. Now, if I grab on it right now, you'll see it says the area of this is that many square feet, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like you were saying, I want to change it. Okay, we can actually go up top to, that's under Manage. And then if you go to units, which is, it's going to come over here and you'll see we have units right here. We'll ping that. It's going to say, how do you want your stuff to be figured out? Currently, it's using area as square feet. But let's say right now, I just want to know what it is in acreage. So I drop this down, I say acres. I'm going to hit OK on that. So just like in AutoCAD, you can change units, you can change them here. Now, when I pick that boundary, that says that's about 94 acres. So we have an idea about how big it is. Let's say you say, well, I'm thinking more like 50 acres. You could then edit the sketch and take these blue lines and drag them, right? So let's say maybe go about there. So if that was set, let's go maybe a little bit bigger than that. Okay. So I hit finish on that, and you'll see now we're at 57 acres. So you can get a feel of how your site is. And you, as you place your buildings, you may say, I need more or less site, depending on what's gonna happen in this area, right?
Could I even change that to miles?
Miles is a linear dimension, it's not a,
would-
acres. Now, if you wanna know a miles distance here,
A mile radius or something,
okay, you could draw in a circle.
I guess it would still be acres, but.
It would still be acres. Miles a linear measurement, so this could be a mile. Acres are going to be
Well, I guess, yeah, you
square
would call it
miles.
square miles.
Square miles, yeah. You could change it to square miles. If you want to know how many square miles are in here, again, we go up to Manage, and I'll ping that, Units. And if the units are available, we'll go to Area, we'll drop this down, and we'll see what's in here. Okay, so we have square feet, square centimeters, square millimeters, no,
Miles right now.
hectares, yeah. So you may have to do a little calculation.
Yeah, acres is good enough.
Yeah. So now we have the acres and the site. Now I'm gonna save master site again. Drop this down and save it. Now, if we wanna put things on the site, what we may consider doing is actually building a physical site where you can physically touch. This is the border. Now we're going to go back again on that massing and site tab again. Spend a lot of time here. You'll see in here it says topo surface. So I'm at topo surface, and what this does, it creates that, a physical surface. I'm going to fire this up, and I'm just going to place 4 points right now at elevation 0. So I'll place one maybe here, 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 and here. When I hit finish on that, if I go to 3D, you'll notice that there is that site. Now, what this is, that is a physical site you can put your hands on. And it tells you the acres right there, right? Because of the site. Now, once you've gotten the site, you may decide that, I'm gonna go back to my site plan, that you wanna berm up some area. Maybe you've got something back here you don't wanna look at, you wanna put a berm back here. Maybe bring the land up, maybe you're building a pond, right? You wanna bring up a berm in the back. You're gonna click on this thing and hit topo surface again, and you can then add and subtract by putting higher numbers and lower numbers in here. So I'm going to put some zeros right through here, just to kind of keep it from moving. So I'll put some zeros in here. Let's see what I've done here. I've got 2 different ones here. Okay, to re-verify, I'm going to take the existing site, I'm going to edit the surface. Let me ping that. And then I can put positive and negative numbers and build up and build down. So to build up, what I would do down here is I'm going to take my zeros that are already there, place points. And I'm going to say this is all, it's going to stay pretty flat. So it's going to triangulate so you don't see it. All this is going to be flat. And then I'm going to say go up 10 feet. So I'm going to add 10 feet. And when I start to put 10s in here, you see how it starts to berm up the site, just like you see on the site plans, right? So if you wanted a hill here, if you want to go up higher, say I want to go up higher, maybe 30 feet over here. So I'll put in a little spot, maybe it's 30 feet. And as you put the dots in, it creates that site. You hit the finish again. Now if we go to 3D, what you're going to see is, you'll actually see how this area is built up. As I'll lay it down, see how the area is built up back there?
Mm-hmm.
So that is how you start to build your site. It's just place dots where you want it, and it will depress it or make it higher. Just placing the dots in. So you could lay this whole site out originally flat, but as you get further in the design, you may decide, I want a reflecting pool here or something, and you say, well, I don't like my neighbors, I'm going to take all that dirt and I'm going to build up a mound back here. So along with that, you asked about landscaping. The nice thing about landscaping is landscaping understands this map. So if I come over here and hit this thing called site component, which is right from, just kind of walking our way across, add trees. I'm just going to add 3 or 4 trees just so you'll see how they work. American beech, whatever you want. And I'm going to place them up the site. Now this is a large site, so I'm just going to walk them up like so, kind of putting them in a line. And I'm going to cut a section through here using the section tool, which is located right here. Again, we are recording it, so you'll have it. Now, I'm going to pull this one right through the trees. If I go to that by double-clicking on the head, you see how it goes the same. So we're not doing a lot of drawing like you would in AutoCAD. Notice we decided where we want our points, and Revit started to bring it up and bring it down, depending on information. You can lay the trees out. They're like little blocks. You just plop them in, and that builds the site. So the site is now in Save Built. Now we're going to bring our buildings in. You'll see how all this starts to come together. So go back to our site plan. Here it is. Okay, that's what we own right there, and that's maybe a little further out, just so you can see how the contours work out. You can match them up if you want. Now, to bring in our building, we go Insert. We want to link it. the reason we link it, we use the word link, is because as you change that pyramid, or you continue with your design in that pyramid, you and make it better and better, it links into here. So every time you update that pyramid, it updates in the master site. Okay, so I'm going to go link. And it says, what do you want to bring in? Building 1. Now you see that the ones that have 0001, 0001?
Backups.
Backups, exactly. So I pick this here, and it says auto origin to origin, or you can say, I want to manually place it. Or you can just drop it in. However you want to put it in here, auto will drop it right on the site, manual lets you place it. Okay, I'm going to hit manual. I hit open, and you see it's going to be stuck to my cursor like in AutoCAD, see? So I can move it in. Let's say I want to put this one back here. So I'll place it. So let's see what we have now. If I go back to that, I don't think that section's deep enough yet. Make the section deeper, make the section wider. So, whoop. Now to zoom in on it, see that head's blue? Back years ago, you may remember on the internet, the blue text was a hyperlink. They made it blue. That's what the blue means. You double click on it, and now you'll see that in the distance. You click on things that you want to edit, make it bigger. So back here, you'll see there's the tower, or our pyramid, and here's our berm along the side of the land. So now we have the ability to see how those pieces are working together. So that's how we create the site, and we link the models in. The nice thing about linking it is I can actually take it right here, so I can move it right even in this view. Okay, so I can move this element wherever I need to move it. I can move it up or down depending if I want to bring it up on the top of this berm. And see how they're working as units now. So I go to 3D, and now see how the site stuff's all working together. And I'm not a big fan of moving things in 3D, but I'm just going to move it back out here so you can see. Back to level 1. And, whoop, I'm sorry, go back to site plan, because that's what we're working in site
It
plan.
might get complicated depending on the elevation, huh?
Yeah, what I'd start is with maybe flat right now, but I wanted to show you how I build a site that you wanted to berm it up. So if I was to say currently to keep it simple, I'm going to go back to this here, and there it is. Now I want to bring it down. Now we can move it or use arrow keys. You can nudge it. Use arrow keys will make things go up and down, which is quite nice. And I can bring it about where I want it to be, or we can use the move command like AutoCAD. Move from that base point right there, come on down to the ground right there, and now it's sitting dead on the ground. So that is how we can get the site set up. And now here's the nice thing. If you have buildings that are similar, I could take this one and actually copy him.
We didn't actually put a floor in him yet, right?
No.
That's just a matter of, like we did our walls. I guess you just add, there's a floor button too?
Yeah, there's a floor button too.
Okay.
And I'll go back to that. We'll add the floor in. We'll come in and maybe put something outside. Maybe we want to have some other things on the outside. When I bring it back in, you'll see those things show up. So you could have, let's say you have 3 classroom buildings. You say, well, they're going to be the same. I'm just going to have one here, one here, and one here. You can copy them. See, so now I have the 3 of the similar elements. The cool thing is, if you go back in the classroom and you refine the classroom, it updates those 3 buildings. At one point, you can make them separate, but you can even copy those around. So this will give you the ability to start to play with the site, get a feel of how the pieces all fit together. How's that building, the size of that building, sit on that site? Let's go back to the original building now. I'm going to save this. And also save the video.